Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about Halloween. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. We've all been warned about the dangers of tampered Halloween candy. The fear of strangers putting needles, razor blades, or poison into the treats is so well known that many hospitals and police stations have even offered to X-ray candy bags. But is this a real danger or just an urban legend? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is Samhain. That's S-A-M-H-A-I-N. Samhain is an ancient Gaelic festival that marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, or the darker half of the year. It was celebrated about 2,000 years ago by the Celtic peoples in the areas that are now Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France. It was seen as a liminal time, a time of transition, when the boundary between our world and the spirit world became thin, allowing ghosts and fairies to cross over more easily. The word Samhain itself is thought to mean summer's end. This festival, with its themes of harvest, spirits, and changing seasons, is the direct ancestor to our modern Halloween. When Christianity spread through the Celtic lands, the church established All Saints' Day, also called All Hallows' Day, on November 1st to honor all the saints. Because Samhain was celebrated the night before, that evening became All Hallows Eve. Over many centuries, that name shortened and transformed into simply Halloween. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about Halloween. Number 1. Wearing costumes on Halloween originally started as a way to hide from ghosts. The Celtics believed the veil between the worlds was thin on Samhain, allowing spirits to roam the earth. Some of these spirits were thought to be friendly, perhaps the ghosts of relatives who had passed. Others, though, were seen as mischievous or even malevolent. To avoid being recognized by these wandering spirits, people would wear costumes and masks made of animal skins and other materials. The idea was that if you looked like a fellow ghost, goblin, or otherworldly creature, the spirits would leave you alone, mistaking you for one of their own. This practice of guising or disguising evolved over time. In the medieval era, this blended with other traditions like souling, where people would go door to door offering prayers for the dead in exchange for food. These ancient traditions of disguise and community rounds eventually blended together to become the modern costume and trick-or-treating we know today. Number 2. Halloween is the king of candy, with Americans purchasing nearly 600 million pounds of it every year. That's right, 600 million pounds of candy. Imagine that. It's roughly the same weight as about 1,600 blue whales or 6 Titanic ships. This massive amount of sweetness makes Halloween the biggest commercial holiday for candy sales in the United States, surpassing even Valentine's Day and Easter. The average American household spends over $30 on Halloween candy to hand out to trick-or-treaters. But it wasn't always this way. In the early 20th century, trick-or-treaters were more likely to receive homemade treats like cookies, pieces of cake, even fruit, nuts, or small coins. In the 1950s, candy companies saw a huge opportunity. They began marketing small, individually wrapped candies as a safe, convenient, and affordable alternative for neighbors to hand out. This marketing, combined with fears about unwrapped treats, helped cement candy as the official currency of Halloween by the 1970s. Number 3. In many parts of the world, a black cat crossing your path is actually considered good luck. In the United States, black cats often get a bad rap around Halloween, largely due to old superstitions associating them with witches and bad omens. This belief stems from medieval Europe when they were sometimes seen as familiars or supernatural helpers for witches. And just a little bonus fun fact for you here. Witches originally was a term to refer to wise elders. But back to the superstitions and beliefs around cats. The idea of black cats being bad luck is not a universal belief. In many other cultures, black cats are a sign of prosperity and good fortune. For example, in Japan, it's considered very lucky, especially for single women, to own a black cat, as it's believed to attract wonderful suitors. In the English Midlands, giving a bride a black cat is thought to bring her good luck and happiness in her marriage. And in Scotland, a strange black cat arriving at your home is seen as a sign that you will soon receive money or good fortune. Number 4. The phrase trick or treat was first printed in a small town in Canada. While traditions of guising and going door to door for treats are very old, the specific catchy phrase trick or treat appears to be a bit newer. The earliest known instance of this phrase appearing in print was a newspaper from Blackie, Alberta, Canada in 1927. The article described how pranksters were demanding trick or treat at local homes, implying that if they didn't receive a treat, they would perform a trick or a prank. This early version of trick-or-treating was often more about the mischief than the candy. In the 1930s, the tradition spread across North America, but it was briefly paused during World War II due to sugar rationing. After the war, candy companies and community groups helped rebrand the activity as a safe and wholesome event for children, turning the trick part into just a playful, empty threat and making the treat the main event. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: Halloween's color scheme, the orange and black, are symbolic of harvest and the darkness of winter. The traditional color scheme of black and orange for Halloween didn't come about randomly, and it wasn't just because they look spooky together. Their symbolism is directly tied to the holiday's ancient origins. Orange is the color of the harvest, representing the bounty of the season, the changing leaves, and of course, the pumpkin. It symbolizes the warmth and light of the autumn season, which was celebrated during the Celtic festival of Samhain. Black, on the other hand, represents the darker half of the year. For the Celts, Samhain marked the end of summer and the beginning of the long, dark, and cold winter, a time often associated with mystery and the end of life. Because this was also the time when the veil between the living and the spirit world was thinnest, black came to symbolize the night, the unknown, and the spooky, supernatural side of the festival. Now for some news you can use. Whether you're out trick-or-treating or just going anywhere at night, it's important to stay safe by staying visible. It can be a good idea to bring a flashlight with you, but it's also smart to use a little bit of reflective tape. You can buy this tape online or at any hardware or sporting goods store. Place a few small strips on the back of a costume, on the sides of shoes, or on the trick-or-treating bag you're carrying. The tape works by using retroreflection. Unlike a mirror, which bounces light away at an angle, this tape has thousands of tiny glass beads or prisms. When a light source, like a car's headlights, hits the tape, the beads bounce the light directly back to the source. This makes the tape glow incredibly brightly to the driver, making the trick-or-treater visible from hundreds of feet away, even in a dark-colored costume. It's a simple addition that makes a huge difference in terms of being seen and staying safe. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked if the widespread fear of strangers tampering with Halloween candy is really justified. Is there a long history of random incidents of people putting razor blades, needles, or poison in candy that they're giving to random trick-or-treaters? This one is a fallacy. It's one of the most persistent and widespread urban legends of our time. Researchers, sociologists, and journalists have investigated this claim for decades. They found that while the fear is very real, there are zero confirmed reports of a child ever being seriously harmed or killed by a stranger's poisoned or booby-trapped candy received during a normal night of trick-or-treating. Sociologist Joel Best, who has studied this topic since the 1980s, has been unable to find a single documented case. The stories that occasionally make the news are almost always hoaxes, misunderstandings, likely a pin accidentally falling into a candy bag, or, in a very few tragic cases, were caused by someone within the child's own family, not a random stranger. So, while it's always smart to check the candy and only eat factory-sealed items, you can rest easy knowing this particular spooky story is just a myth. Now, we hope you enjoyed learning a bit about Halloween with me today. Be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.